On. What's going on today? Right on, right on, right on. Here we go. Right on. Right on. Today we got a good one for you. Weighted down with poverty conscience. Consciousness. Weighted down with poverty consciousness. Is this you? Could it be? Maybe we got some solutions for you. Right on, right on, right on. Hey, this is your host with the most, Mr. David. Right on. And here we go. Let's fix this picture up right now. There's me up there, right on. So we're going to get rid of me for a little while. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. There he is. As you can see him sitting there contemplating, right? And looking up, you know. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And we're going to go ahead and get myself out the picture here so you know who I am and what I do. So, right on. Let's just call it like we call it. Let me get this picture fixed. So, forgive me here. Give me a prepaid forgive me. All right, there we go. This should do it. Well, anyways, we getting it together some kind of way. So, let's move forward. Right now, you see this man sitting here. All right. Seems to be of a Caucasian persuasion. Could be a Russian. We don't know who it is, but we'll just say. So he's sitting and he's looking up in his mind, and that's how he's doing. So as you see him looking up, you see all the brains that are around there. They're on doves and they're weighted down. And the doves represents peace, and for him to let go. That's the whole symbolism of this situation here. But we can't. He just can't do it because he's got so many issues, and his issues are delaying his life, and that's what it is. They're delaying his life, and they're causing him to have undue bad tidings and bad things happen to him, things that are not conducive to him. So we're going to take a station break right now, and we're going to talk about, hey, if you're another gender, whatever you are, just throw it in there. I'm going to talk from a man's perspective. I'm old school. That's what I am. And so don't take me personal. Just keep on stepping. Throw your gender in there and keep stepping. That's all we need you to do. There we go. We're going to raise him up a little bit. There he is. As you see, he's sitting. There you go. And there's the floor. So he's real close to the floor. And so that floor, if you notice, that floor is dirty. So it looks like he's in some kind of a prison, which is what he's in. Not the prison, so we say to speak, where you get in trouble and you go to that kind of prison. But he's a prisoner of his mind. And the reason why he's a prisoner of his mind is because he has a whole lot of things going on that don't have anything to do with him, but he's worried about them. Have you ever done this? Have you ever sat back and you've been somewhere? And right now, we're a lot of people visiting their families and traveling and going to and fro. And so you go and then you sit down, and then the family's talking to you about problems and issues within the family. Maybe you're the engine of the family, or maybe you're considered to be the smartest, or maybe you're considered to be the one that can handle it, and you can go ahead and finish those situations for the family, or maybe you're a moderator. So these are the things that you got to deal with. So as you get older, you realize, I'm going to slide him down here, you realize that all these things, situations in your brain have nothing to do with you. And this is what this represents. As you can see, once again, you see the weights. Those look like the balls you put on trees, but those are weighted balls, okay? Don't take it any other way. They're weighted balls and they're attached to a brain. And the brain is trying to let go, but the person's ego or his id won't let him go. And this can be a woman, this can be whoever you are out there. And we just happen to have a picture of this particular person right now. So if you look at the doves are always doing what doves do. They fly around, they're looking for a way out. But the brain, they want to let the brain go, but they can't let it go because it's tethered. So the man has no peace. And when he has no peace, it's just not a good situation. That's why this is called Terrific Tuesday, weighted down with poverty consciousness. So all of these consciousness that are, these conscience that are, if I'm saying it right, are in his brain, and they represent all these thoughts within his brain. That's how much power of his brain that he's using on non-essential personal way to be by yourself. And what he should be thinking about is simply this: how can I do things better? How can I be better? And what do I have to go through? What is the solution to all of these issues? And are these issues mine? Are they not mine? Have they been put in my life? Was I set up before the word go? Did I understand what they were trying to do? And if I did understand, did I make the proper adjustments to be able to get through it? So sometimes you go through things because it's just a cycle that you're in. And sometimes that cycle is not conducive to you. That's why within my podcast, I have different things. Like we had hamster wheelology, where they had a hamster rolling through on a hamster wheel. Finally, the hamster realized, I'm gonna get off this wheel, and then I'm gonna be the master of my own destiny, and I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk with and through faith. And so that's what we're talking about here. Is you can walk with faith, and then you can walk through faith. And as you walk through faith, you're going to practice what you need to do to make yourself a better person. And part of that is controlling your thoughts. And this is the hardest thing we as humans have, is to try to control our thoughts. And what I mean by controlling our thoughts is just trying to keep the thoughts as much as positive as possible. And so it's not always able to do that because of life. If you're living, you're going to have things that are going to happen. If you got kids, you got family members, you got people around you that may not necessarily be for you, or you got people around you that are moving a certain way and you've outgrown that situation. So those are things that you do. I was talking to a client of mine the other day, and I was telling them about just not to have poverty conscience. The more poverty you have, the more issues that you have. And that's the problem. And we're not talking about monetary per, per se. It can be. But what we're talking about is just a general overall makeup of being a human and running out of here. So you can run scared, and it can lead you to poverty. So you want to be in abundance. And what I mean by abundance is you want to have things that are conducive to you. So my goal in life was always to be able to eat every day with my basics and my basics infrastructure, to be able to, have clean clothes, to be able to, take a shower every day, to have some kind of living arrangement that was conducive to me. And if I had a significant other, we were living together and we had peace in the house. So these are basic things. So what I'm saying about the poverty conscious is the lack thereof are the appearance of lack. So that appearance of lack is probably more of the standard that I'm talking about. If you are lacking in some department, there has to be a solution, where the issue is that comes forth is, are you living abundantly, or are you surviving? That's the part. And there's more to it than that, but for this particular podcast, we're just going to break it down to this. And so when you're in survival mode, you got to do what you got to do. This is what they say out here on these streets. Okay, fine. But when you step on others' toes to get where you need to go, then that's when it becomes a problem, because you create enemies and you create negative thoughts and you create a negative vibe about yourself. And that's the part that you're trying to escape from. And so we're not saying that this is the be-all, true-all solution. We're just saying take a look at it from this perspective. And this perspective just says, look, okay, if I don't have the basics of what I need, then I need to figure out how I'm going to get them. Am I going to work? Am I going to hustle? Am I going to do a combo with work and a business, become an entrepreneur? Or what am I going to do? What is the formula for me that's going to work for me? Am I a morning person? Am I a night person? Am I a middle of the day person? What do I need to do to better my situation? What do I need to do for myself? So I got to look in the mirror and say, what is it about myself that I need to work on? And this is a very hard thing to do, because when you look at yourself, you may not like the person that you see in the mirror. And so it doesn't necessarily take mirrors, but just thinking about what you need to do and what you should be doing. And so everybody's needs are different. When you're in a family unit, whatever that may be, however it's structured, then it may change, because now you might have other people depending on you. So as they're depending on you, then it becomes, how consistent can I be? And it's cold outside or it's warm outside, I got to get up and go to work, or I got to get up and go to my computer and work online. Or maybe I'm an entrepreneur and I got bills and I got to make sure that they get paid. It's all kinds of things that go into it, but it's a real simple process. What's the solution, and can I replicate the solution on a daily basis? And can I make myself be better while I'm doing it? And that's a hard concept. So that's why we're just talking about it. We had, some more clients that they were having a hard time as far as what they needed to do for for their dinner and meal for their family. So we just told them, you know what? Why don't we put our money together and figure out what we need to do? And I said, and I told that person that way and that so that they could see it. And that was a part of saying, okay, this is what you got to say to yourself. Why don't I, or I can try this, or I can do this. That's what, and that's what that was taught from that perspective. So we had them repeat it to say, so that's why today we're saying it. Why don't I do this so I can make sure? So if you got champagne dreams and you got a short wallet, you don't have enough in your wallet, then you got to figure out what is it that you need to do to make yourself better so that you can get this Christmas dinner off or whatever you do. You got to, there's places that help you. There's food banks. There's all kinds of people that help people. There's also where you can help yourself, and you can do a combination thereof. So you just got to figure out what your formula is. So we just kind of wanted to talk about it today and just be that type of person and do that type of thing and be that type of way, because it's a lot of people right now. They need to be uplifted. They don't need to be judged. They don't need to be prodded. They don't need to be, preached to. And what we're saying is, hey, take a look at it from that. So whoever's listening, if this information helps you, then use it. If it doesn't apply to you, just listen. Maybe you can pass it on to someone else in your words. So that's what this is about. This is a PSA, a public service announcement. And it's for anybody out there. It doesn't matter, race, religion, creed, color, gender, whatever. Whatever they got out here now. All right. So we don't really care. We're just saying, take a look at it from a different perspective. So keep your head up and keep going. Stick your chest out. Do what you got to do. Stand up tall. Do what you got to do. That's going to make you be you. Remember, every adventure and everything that appears to be wrong is not always wrong. And everything that appears to be against you is not always against you. Sometimes it's just a life cycle and a life lesson for you to move forward. And you got to figure out how to break out of it so you can get to the next lesson. So anyway, we're going to leave with that as we get on with our situation. So this is your host with the most, Mr. David, or Date App, or better known as Real Time On Demand. If you're in business, holler at me when you get a chance, whatever. We're podcasting on live streaming on Twitch, on Date App on YouTube, Kick, and some other situations. So we're getting it done, and we're back, and we're rolling. We'll be going just about every day now, all the way to Christmas. So blessings to you all. And like I always say, what I want for others, I want for myself. And what I want for myself, I want for others. As we move through this holiday season or these special days, please do yourself a favor and take care of yourself, and then take care of your family, and then keep rolling. Don't put others, if they're not kids, don't put others in front of yourself. If they're adults, if they have a lady, or if they have some kind of situation, and of course, but you still got to put yourself together, and don't run yourself ragged over these non-starters and non-people that aren't doing anything. So do you and be your best, and we wish the best for you and blessings. Right on, right on, right on. This is David signing out on Terrific Tuesday. Weighted down with poverty consciousness. Right on.